Hi, this is jeng, and today we're going to be talking about lessons learned from 2020. And I want to start with this quote from Shane Parrish. It was in one of his newsletters that he puts out every Sunday, and it says, "Ask what cannot be Googled." And so, as an interviewer, I interview a lot of people. That is always what I try to keep in mind: is asking questions that cannot be Googled. And Gary Vee will completely obliterate people when they ask a question such as like, how do I do X on Twitter? Just Google it, right? So whenever you're talking with somebody, a potential mentor, potential interviewee, anybody who could potentially be on your team, ask what cannot be Googled. Do not ask them questions that you could Google yourself. So in 2020, there was a lot of lessons learned, and so that's what I want to go through. I picked 10 lessons that I boiled down for you today, and hopefully you can apply them to 2021. All right, number one is build relationships before you need them. So adding value continually to others. When you speak to them, like there was tons of requests, I would say probably March, April, May of 2020, where I just did interviews for people. I spoke on podcasts. I, just gave value. And you always, Gary Vee says, be 51-49. So always give more than you ask for. And, throughout the year, if something came up or if that person had a connection to somebody else, then I would potentially reach out to those people. In terms of masterminds being a part of one, I think those are building relationships early on. And pretty much everybody who was in my mastermind was able to elevate their multifamily real estate game significantly from where it was before, because just being around other people who are doing the thing is going to improve your ability to do it, and make people better as a result of connecting with you, right? So I get probably 5 to 10 LinkedIn requests every day, and try to add value as a result of connecting with you. Like look at something that person has done, add some sort of spark in there so people can remember you. And then the last thing in terms of relationships is you have to build your email list. Your email list is a direct relationship with your clients. So if you're a general partner, you need to build your email list of limited partners. If you're a limited partner, you need to build your email list of general partners. Because just because you're connected with somebody on Facebook, on LinkedIn, that is not a direct relationship. That is a rented relationship at this time. And that could change at any moment. So build your email list, build your cell phone list as well, just in case. Number two, never wait until tomorrow to get done what you can get done today. Um, I would say the first week of March to the third week of March, essentially the whole world changed in terms of what lenders could do, what rate lock, what reserves were required, what lenders would show up at. So if you can get a deal done today, don't wait, right? And the easiest phrase to remember is time kills all deals. If you are waiting for a lender, if you're waiting for equity, the deal is going to die. So if you can do the wire today, do the wire today. If you can close the deal today, close it today. I don't know how many times we've seen where, there's been a fire at a property, a shooting at a property that can dramatically change the terms that you get. So if you can close today, close today. In terms of trips, right? Everyone who went on a trip in 2019, I mean, we were planning multiple trips in 2020 and none of them happened, right? And so if you can go today, go, right? If you can have that call, if you can start that relationship, do it today. Number three, identify and create strategic partnerships to get referrals. So your client is a customer of someone else, right? And the people you are saying no to. So let's say somebody's coming to you and they're saying, all right, James, I need a loan of $500,000 in California. That's not necessarily a client for me, but that's a client for, let's say, a single family mortgage broker out in California, right? So everyone who you interact with, that is a client for somebody else. And your clients are touching base with other people as well. So think about before, during, after, even as an alternative to your product, right? So if you are a general partner and you are raising money, and who else, where else do those investors hang out, right? Have they invested in single family before? Have they invested with other general partners? Have they bought deals themselves, right? So think about who else you can be talking with in terms of strategic partnerships. And I heard that referrals typically negotiate less and close faster than any other type of lead that comes in. So instead of spending all your time on social media and trying to find new clients that way, look at referrals and think about who buys before, or what your client buys before, during, after your product. Number 4, I would say, is be ready for whales, but catch fish while you wait. So my dad, when we used to go fishing, he would put out a big piece of bait, throw it out in the water, let it sit there, put the rod in the rod holder and wait. But while we were doing that, he was throwing out lines, smaller shrimp, and catching smaller fish. And then we just waited for that rod to bend over and wait for that big fish. And so, a lot of times you can be waiting for that big deal to happen. You can wait for that one post to go viral, but it's really the daily practice of doing the work. And, I think, like, Seth Godin is one of my favorite marketing guys. And he says, not one of his blog posts has ever been viral, but the daily practice of doing it for himself is what makes him that much better. And that consistency makes him a force in marketing. Number 5 is build more than one income stream. And, we saw this dramatically in March. Restaurants being shut down, hotels being shut down. You should have your job, your business, your investments, your courses, your conferences, your, all the different income streams that you can create for yourself, because at some point in time, one of those might go away. And so diversifying across multiple jobs, businesses, investments, courses, conferences, employers is going to give you more than one income stream and give you consistency to ride these things out. Because what we saw is that if you only had one income stream, your job, you got in trouble. And so building more than one income stream is huge. And I think that's continue what you should be doing in 2021. All right, number 6 is learn and create something new every week. So I think I've listened to more webinars, I've listened to more Zoom calls, virtual conferences, YouTube videos this year than any previous year. And the ability, well, number 1, you can't go to that many places now. So how are you learning every week? But then also the rule of creating before you consume, right? So a lot of times I think you can get caught in the consumption piece of it. And sometimes you just got to shut it off and create something first. So create in the morning and then maybe consume in the afternoon, in the evenings. But creating something gives you an asset that lives on and gives you, positioning in the market. Number 7 is skill stacking. So this comes from Scott Adams. And he says, he was the creator of Dilbert. And he said, instead of being number 1 in something, be the top 10% in 3 or more things, right? So I might not be the number 1 underwriter, might not be the number 1 loan originator sales guy, I might not be the number 1 multifamily investor. But if I'm in the top 10% of those 3 things, and most people only do 1 of those things, right? And so, but if you combine all 3 of those things, then you are number 1 in that particular niche. Then you will, be, the benefits will greatly outweigh somebody else, and your ability to create those different skills and thinking about businesses that you're working on, projects that you're working on, how are they just synergistic with each other, right? So for me, like, if, let's say you wanted to build a bigger let's say, marketing side of the business and you did a conference, right? That's synergistic with your ability to do loans, right? Because of the awareness the conference brings, and then also the people that you meet when building something like that. Number 8, don't complain, don't wait. Be impatient with action, patient with results. So this comes from Naval Ravikant. He said, "Be impatient with action, but patient with results." So, in 2020, every business, every investor had to deal with COVID, right? Some came right out of the gate and said, "Look, we're gonna have to change the way we do leasing. We're gonna have to change the way that we manage these deals." And they have better occupancy, better rents than other businesses. And so you just can't complain, you can't wait, and then you just have to be impatient with your action, right? But patient with the results. Number 9 is look outside of your industry to find new ways of growing. And every business model, I can see it just in restaurants, right? Who were the restaurants that were able to pivot faster to online? Who were the retailers who were able to pivot faster to the curbside pickup? How are you changing, right? So a lot of real estate investors were used to just going to in-person meetups, going to conferences, and that is not going to come back for a while. And so how are you changing the way that people are finding you? Where's the technology? What's the software? What's the marketing in that piece? The same with your ability to go out and find deals, right? If you live in California, but you need to find deals in Texas, how are you getting here? Who's on your team? Who's walking deals for you so that you're in front of that? And so in 2020, there was a lot of times where people were calling me from out of state saying, "James, go look at this deal in Dallas, in Austin, in San Antonio, in Houston, and tell me what you think of it," because they need somebody boots on the ground there that is working on it. Number 10 is who, not how, is finding people that can really take your business to the next level. And so, a lot of times there's a lot of things that you can be working on, and, you can't focus on the how of everything, because that will basically drown you in opportunity. And so finding people who already know how to do that, right? So if somebody came in as a general partner and they wanted to be to know financing, to know property management, to know leasing, it's going to be hard for them to do everything, right? Especially if they want to scale this business. And so finding people who can take your business to the next level is number 10. And then I'm going to wrap up with this. Is a quote from Kevin Kelly. He said, "Before you're old, attend as many funerals as you can bear and listen." Because nobody talks about the departed's achievements. The only thing people will remember is what kind of person you were while you were achieving. So remember that as a reminder that while you're doing all these things, remember the people, remember how you're doing it is just as important as what you're doing. So I'm going to wrap up with that. If you like the video, definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, like this video. If you need help with a deal, whether you're buying it or you're looking at it as investment, email me, T12 rent roll, OM, or investment package. I'll take a look at it. And then if you want to get pre-qualified for your next deal, complete a personal financial statement, set up time to talk with me, send me an email at the email below, or you can call me at 214-300-5035. Thanks.